In this section we are going to be installing the sound post. We will measure it, shape it, and fit it. The sound post is the soul of the instrument. By moving its location, you can drastically change the tone of the instrument and its playability. Careful setup and preparation of the sound post will result in an excellent playing instrument. This is a sound post measuring tool. Insert into the F-hole on the sound post side and raise the post until it stops. Look inside the instrument to check to see if it's an approximate location of where the bridge foot will be and that it is vertical to the side rib. Lock it in position and carefully remove it from the sound hole. This measurement will be the length of your sound post, and this one will measure 48 millimeters. I will cut a blank of sound post material to 50 millimeters and then trim the top and the bottom of the sound post to match the curvature of the back plate and the top plate. The orientation of the grain in the sound post is very important when considering the installation. The grain pattern on the end of the sound post must be perpendicular to the grain pattern in the top plate, meaning at right angles. So if the grain pattern in the top plate is running in this direction, the sound post will have to be in this direction. What that does is it prevents the ringwood of the sound post penetrating into the softer pulpwood of the top plate by overlapping the ringwood in both plates. I start by marking the top of the sound post where the sound post will actually be sitting under the bridge foot. I draw an orientation line for the grain pattern so that I know that the position of the grain pattern is in line with my marked T for top. Then I will slowly trim both ends of the sound post and test fit in the instrument after each trimming until I have the correct fit. The correct fit of the sound post is a snug fit, but not so much pressure as to distort either the top or the back plate. String tension will be what holds the sound post in position when the instrument is strung up, but you also don't want it to fall out when you're changing strings. The T on the top will be toward the outside of the instrument, so I will trim slightly on that edge in a curve approximating the curve of the inside of the top plate. Then I will turn it over and do the same for the bottom. Fitting a sound post is a very long drawn out process because you will have to adjust it later on after you string the instrument up and play it to adjust the tone and playability and loudness of the instrument. Take your time, work small, and test fit it often. To test fit the sound post, insert the sound post setter point just offset of the grain pattern, so that as you feed in through the sound hole, you will be able to turn it a little bit to line up the grain pattern. Set the bottom of the sound post first, and pull back towards you. I now have the sound post in its approximate position. Check the vertical alignment of the sound post inside the instrument by looking through the end pin hole at the sound post and comparing it with the neck block. It should be parallel with the neck block in a vertical motion. I am now going to install and adjust the tail piece. I'll do adjustments later on after I get the string on to ensure the dimension from the string adjuster to the bridge is the correct length. I start by hooking it on the end pin. Squeeze it together a little bit and roll it around the top, slowly easing out until the tailpiece is just in front of the saddle nut. Then I will tighten these two nuts on the string adjuster to bring them snug. As string tension is applied, this nylon tailpiece adjuster will stretch a little bit, and you will have to readjust it later on. After you have your nuts adjusted for the tailpiece adjuster, trim off approximately 1/8 inch in front of the nut to remove this excess material that may damage or mar the instrument surface. Now that I have the tailpiece ready to be installed, I'm ready to do the final steps on the bridge. But this will require putting the strings on. I have to ensure that I have the correct stop length, neck angle, and tailpiece adjustment length. I start out by selecting the name on the bridge. That should be facing the tailpiece. Here I'm going to establish the height of the bridge above the fingerboard. Place a number 2 hexagonal lead pencil on the fingerboard. Slide it up until it just touches the bridge, holding the bridge in position on the bridge line at the correct stop length. Slightly move the pencil to each side, transferring the contour of the fingerboard to the bridge. I will now trim this area off the bridge plus 1 millimeter above this line. Draw a line 1 millimeter wide on the top of the bridge. And then bevel that area from the line that you just drew down, and relieve the back side, the area toward the tailpiece, so that you have a straight line in front of the bridge toward the fingerboard.